everyone, and good evening. It's Silver Shell's Bling Party coming to you live from Sonoma County, and we are bringing you jewelry and exciting interviews with our guests. And this show is brought to you by our jewelry, so check it out at www.silvershells.live. I'm Silver Shells.
I'm Cindy Jenkins.
And we are the Bling Sisters. And this is our show, Silver Shells Bling Party. Go ahead and set the notification bell on the upper right-hand corner if you want to be notified when we go live. And look for the red light in the upper left-hand corner. If that's on, we are live. So if you please like us and share. If you'd like to comment on our live stream, please go to our page, Silver Shells Bling Party. And you can comment in the comment section if you start a watch party or you share it. Sometimes we can't see the comments. So anyway, we have a special guest tonight. We have Kumar. And how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Oh, we're doing really good. So I have a little blurb that Charlie Musselwhite wrote about you. So I'm just going to jump right in. It's a great introduction. Charlie Musselwhite writes, Hindi man, this is about your Hindi man blues. Check it out. I wouldn't steer you wrong, not for the blues traditionalists, but key for harp lovers and anyone with a slightly adventurous spirit. Kumar delivers vintage Bollywood meets Windy City blues and soul in a powerful, ever-evolving musical vision created out of the heart and soul of this acclaimed singer-songwriter and harpist. Aki has done a rockin' job on the CD, and as always, you can count on his singing and his harp playing, which is consistently tasteful with great tone and phrasing. This would be perfect for a party. So, there you are, the great Charlie Musselwhite's giving you a nice shout out.
It's a big endorsement for me.
That is wonderful. So you're in San Jose. Are you as hot as we are up here?
It's pretty warm out in San Jose here. I don't know how hot it is over there, but I have a big fan sitting right next to me making all kinds of sounds. I hope it stays alive for the rest of the interview.
I hope, yeah. Ours is going to make a little make a little noise too, but we have to live with it. It's just, it's hot.
It is hot.
Anyway, thank you so much for coming on. I just saw you recently up at Elephant in the Room, and that was a lot of fun. That
was a lot of fun. It was our first time playing there, and as is always the case with the first time playing anywhere, you're never quite sure what it's going to be like. And it was such a warm reception, and I really appreciate that you guys came out and supported us.
Oh, yeah. I think I've seen you down at Redwood Cafe, and, you've been around. So, you were born in Mumbai, India?
Correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Now, do you have siblings?
I do. I have an older brother.
Okay.
He lives in San Francisco.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
We're both Bay Area now.
You're both Bay Area. So, were you always into music when you were young? I see that you played some instruments. Was your family musical?
They were music fans. We weren't a musical family in the sense that nobody was a professional musician, but they loved music. Both my parents loved listening to music, so they were consumers of music. My dad especially, he had a modest kind of record collection of whatever, his savings from his government job could afford at the time. So he had this record collection, very eclectic. I listened to a lot of that growing up. My mom loved to, she was a hobbyist singer, but she would sing at home. And through her, I learned many classic songs from before my era. And music is always around you in India. It's a very cultural kind of, setting. So you can't just grow up in India and not have music be part of your life in some way. I did have the good fortune of learning, it was just for a couple of months, but I was introduced to some Indian instruments when I was about 10 years old, a little bit of structured kind of instruction in traditional Indian music for about a couple of years.
Okay.
So there was a little bit of music in my life starting out, and it paid off, I think, in the later years.
Okay. It's so... I just lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh.
Welcome to my life.
Oh my gosh! I just had this burning question, and then it was like, whoop, well, it's just gone. Oh, that is so funny. Okay, so you grew up and dancing. You learned. Did you learn the traditional dances?
No, I did not. I wish I had. I was actually a big fan of the moonwalk when I was 14, and I kept trying to do that. So that, I guess, is traditional now, but that was the extent of my, dance adventures back then.
Well, I did see it. I did see a little dancing in a video you did. So,
Well, we have Denny Wright chiming in to
send
Aki a kiss for me.
So that is our girlfriend Denny.
Denny.
All right. Yay, Denny. Okay, so here we go. And Elisa, Kathy, January, and 2 other people are watching with you. I think I'm one of them.
Hey, guys.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so you went to school, did your and then you moved to Oakland?
I moved to San Jose, actually. Well, I was in Oklahoma for just a little bit while I transferred to San Jose State University. But I spent most of my time in the U.S. here in the Bay Area in San Jose. I graduated from San Jose State as a software engineer, a computer scientist, and then I worked in high tech for many years, a little over a decade, just as a programmer. But I spent a good portion of that time really being very distracted by music, because that was a period of time in my life where I could actually not be focused on or academics or just trying to gain some kind of stability in life was not the dominating drive. I had found that stability.
In their job.
So I was finally free to pursue music in my mid-20s. And that's what I did. I found the blues scene in the Bay Area. It found me. I fell crazy in love with blues and just decided to dive in head first.
So when did you first start playing the harmonica?
I had a harmonica back in India because my dad had one and he would play it, but it was this, what they call a tremolo harmonica. It's a different style of harmonica than the blues harmonica that we normally play. But it was there, it was part of my life. He would play it, then I tried to play it, and I thought, oh, this is cute, but there's nothing to it. Because it felt like an incomplete instrument.
Okay.
It was only in my 20s when I started listening to blues, when it blew my mind that, oh no, there's like a whole genre, and there's like masters who have created, amazing compositions on this instrument, and this can be studied and this can be mastered, and it's a beautiful thing. So yeah.
Okay, well, I think this is a good time to run our first video.
So, our first video is called Can't Hold Out Much Longer. So, do you want to set that up a little bit?
Sure. That's a song that was sung by the legend. I mean, if I had to pick one name in the blues harmonica world, in that realm, it would be Little Walter.
Okay.
Because he was kind of, not to make comparisons, but he was the Jimi Hendrix of the harmonica, if you want to think of him that way. Completely revolutionized it. And Can't Hold Out Much Longer is one of the first Little Walter songs I tried to learn to play on the harmonica and also sing. So it was kind of a new thing for me. And the video that you're going to play is from a very recent performance where I felt like after almost 15 years of chasing this song, I was finally not embarrassed by, the way I had rendered it live. So it was a big milestone for me to be able to take this song by one of my icons and finally feel okay with the way I did it.
Excellent.
Excellent, okay.
Let's go.
So, Kurt says hi, and Jan.
Hey, Kurt.
everyone. How are you? We're back. That was an excellent video. I know Jan Kravitz said he plugged into his car stereo shaker so he could hear it. We want to say hi to
Arthur Mickle
and Red. Hello, Red. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And so Aki, you moved over. You moved to San Jose, and you said you were totally blues, just into the blues. And then what made you decide to mix your Bollywood with your blues? Because you sounded like you were a bit of a, like, not a purist, but...
Or you could say purist, yeah.
Okay.
But you could say purist or traditionalist is
Right.
the word that also gets thrown around. But the thing was, my intentions in pursuing the blues were very genuine, and I wanted to get to the root of it. Like, you know, not just get caught up in one artist or one style. I was like, what is this music? Where is it coming from? And how deep can I get into it? And the reality is, when you fall in love with more of the classic stuff like Muddy Waters and all of that good stuff, it kind of consumes you.
Yeah.
And I was very much consumed for many years, where my only pursuit in the musical world was to try to emulate these great artists that I really looked up to. And that's great because it gave me a lot of my musical foundation and bearings. And it also, you know, allowed me to present my craft to an audience that already got it. They knew what the sound was about.
Right.
But the reality is, and this dawned on me later in my 30s, is that all of the artists that I look up to, bar none, all of them were individuals with unique, fiercely unique styles and a unique sense of creativity, a unique identity.
Right.
If you listen to 2 seconds of them, you'd know instantly who they were.
Yes.
And I felt that I was trying to assimilate all these styles, and I was getting good at it, but where was my voice in it?
Your true voice.
Yeah, so really doing the Bollywood blues thing was kind of part of this process of growing up as an artist and going, well, let me start to incorporate my musical background into this newly found musical home. And that's how that project came about.
Hey, that's so. Then you're in another group. You're in a duo, right?
Oh yeah, I have many incarnations.
Many incarnations. So do you have like a serious blues, and then you have your Bollywood mix, or do you?
I originally intended for that to be the case. When I do the blues duo that you're referring to, I do this blues duo which is more kind of down home kind of a feel, acoustic, and I do that with a great guitar player and singer-songwriter named John Lawton, who's been based in the Bay Area for decades. That's more on the blues-heavy side, more traditional kind of side. But with the Bollywood blues thing, it kind of changes. I'm a shapeshifter in that area, because there's nights where I can just, with the same band, deliver a very straight-up blues set, and then within seconds we can transform into a Bollywood blues band and do more Bollywood. It just depends on how I feel and what kind of audience I'm playing to.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we really enjoyed watching you at Elephant in the Room. That's a different type of venue, but it's good. It's intimate, and you can really feel the music.
I really enjoyed playing that venue because that intimacy, that feeling is something that sometimes goes missing when you play larger venues. But at that particular room, at that particular club, we were like a foot away from most people that were just kind of standing around us.
Right. And
that energy is something that you can't buy that. You know, you're kind of feeding off of each other. And I love playing there.
Yeah, it's different than being on a stage and having everybody, when you're playing there and, just interacting with people. So, you have your Aki Kumar Blues Band?
At this point, I just call the show Aki Kumar.
Just Aki Kumar.
If you're coming out to see me, it's just Aki Kumar and whatever the heck I do, that's give or take.
With whoever you're going to play with.
Well, I have a steady set of musicians who have been really exceptional for many years. So the folks you might see me most often with are the same personnel that you saw at the show that you attended, Elephant in the Room. And June Core, typically, who has played with Charlie Musselwhite for, well, I don't know how many years, 16 years, I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
He joins me on drums more often than not. There's an amazing bass player from Oakland named Vance Ehlers who has played bass with me for a long time. And there's a young guitar player named Romy Amalo, who's the most recent kind of, entrant into our blues scene, but he has just been kicking butt on the guitar for the last 3 years and has played many of his shows with me.
So you have also played Hardly Strictly Bluegrass. Now, twice, yes. Now that would be interesting to have. Do you play your Bollywood blues at the Hardly?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, I mean, I did a pretty diverse show the last time I played there. But the first time I played Hardly Strictly, I believe that was in 2016. And it was part of a bigger review that my label at the time, Little Village Foundation, which is really the label that helped me create this whole Bollywood blues sound. They had the stage, they had this one show entirely to themselves, and they could present all their artists.
Oh.
And so I was one of the artists, and I definitely did Bollywood blues then. In 2018, it was entirely my show, and I was able to do a lot of different things, including a lot of Bollywood blues too.
Well, yeah, you've been, and then you've been to a few San Jose. There's quite a bit going on in San Jose. I was surprised.
It's a lively, it's a lively music scene. Hopefully when we come back out of this, but it was lively until 2 months ago. And I'm very fortunate that I'm close to that music scene, because it's, again, it's like blood circulation. When everybody else is involved in music and you have so many great artists around you, you kind of just get pulled into that, and it kind of elevates you and your artistry.
Yes. So, and you've also played in St. Petersburg and Brazil.
Yeah.
And Estonia.
Yes.
Estonia. Yeah. That seems kind of a. That seems
off the beaten path.
Yes.
Yeah, I was surprised, but they have a big blues festival in Estonia called the August Blues Festival, and I played there last year with this amazing Russian band that backs me up and basically manages me in that region, in Russia and Estonia, a little bit of Finland too. It was just, it blew my mind, because I was out there in Estonia with a turban playing Bollywood blues, and people were rocking out. It's surreal.
Well, sometimes you focus on the music, and the person playing is
everything.
Yeah, you're just trying to communicate.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh! All right, so we have another video. We have this is Barbar Deco.
Barbar Deco. And that's a Bollywood blues number. This is just as classic of a Bollywood blues song, a Bollywood song as you can get. And the whole Bollywood blues project was, let's take classic songs that are kind of the soundtrack of the Bollywood industry in India from the 50s and 60s and 70s and see if we can bluesify them. But this song, Barbar Dekho, was already a swinging jazz and rock and roll number. And so what you're going to play is really my version of it, but it's pretty true to the original. If your listeners and viewers go check it out, the original song, they'll be surprised at how swinging that original number is.
All right, let's go then. Let's swing.
Thank you.
डाल हो हाँ डाल हो डाल हो बार 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 देखो, हजार बार देखो, ये देखने की चीज है हमारा दिलरुबा डाल हो, डाल हो, डाल हो। और भी होंगे दिलदार यहाँ, लाखों दिलों के बहार यहाँ, पर ये बात कहाँ। हाँ जी हाँ, और भी होंगे दिलदार यहाँ, लाखों दिलों के बहार यहाँ, पर ये बात कहाँ। ये बेमिसाल हुस्न लाजवाब ये अदा डाल हो, डाल हो। Champion, show me what you can do, man. ये आशिकी का राज है मेरा डाल, डाल हो, डाल हो। मिले तुम्हें भी ऐसा दिलरुबा डाल, डाल हो, डाल हो। बार बार देखो, हजार बार देखो, डाल हो, डाल हो। Let's go. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
And we are back. For anyone just joining us, I'm Silver Shells.
I'm Cindy Jenkins.
And we are
The
the
Bling
Bling
Sisters.
Sisters. And this is Silver Shells Bling Party. And we have jewelry. So go to www.silvershells.live. We've got tons of jewelry. It's 20% off. And all of our sales for jewelry go to support our interviewing our guests. And oh boy, we've had some guests. We've got some future guests coming on. Right now we're talking with Aki Kumar, and I'm making a lot of noise down here. All right, Aki, so you are, what do you see for your future then? You want to talk about?
Coming up in just a few hours on the Sony Music India YouTube channel will be my next music video coming out on Sony. I'm really excited about that. I worked really hard on this particular single, and so I hope folks tune in and check it out. I will post a little bit about it on my Facebook and Instagram and all that if they want to check it out, and I hope they do. It's called Anna, and it's and I'm really proud of it. The full Sony Music album, which I think it's scheduled for release by the end of June, so that should be out then as well. Beyond that, I'm just looking forward to how the live music scene, what shape it is in for the rest of the year. Obviously, this has been pretty brutal for anybody that's alive.
Yeah.
Anybody that's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So, I talk to my fellow musicians all the time, and really nobody knows what lies for us in the future. Are we going to have a very thriving, vibrant scene like we used to? Are we just going to have robot musicians taking over? I don't know. I hope I can get back on stage quickly and do what I do best, which is just play and sing to my fans. And beyond that, I want to get more into songwriting and just writing my own material and just drawing from a variety of influences, whatever they might be in any given moment. But I'm invested in so many things artistically. It's hard to kind of just list them all.
Right. Right. Or say, yeah, this is where I'm going. But you've got. I don't think that it's going to go robotic. I think that people miss the live music. I mean, so much. They're getting.
Yeah, I was just saying. That's one thing that I think you can never take away is the impact of live music. That just the energy we just spoke of a few minutes ago. You cannot digitize that. Standing in front of another human being, delivering your art, and getting their feedback.
Ooh, I get goosebumps.
I mean,
yeah.
You can't replace that anywhere on the planet.
It's the feeling, the live music and the emotion, and it's like an aura. And if you're you can pick it up, and they've done studies that say people that listen to music together, they feel more connected.
I believe that. I mean, music has, just the simple fact that there's memories tied to songs. I mean, all of us have obviously experienced this. I can think of a song sometimes that comes on the radio, and it takes me back like that to a certain memory, a certain point in my time, in my life, because the two things are interlinked, and music forms deep emotional bonds within us. So I agree.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, you hear music and you think, oh, that was such a good time, or you feel the flash of
or you even smell the smell of the anise that would bloom. Yeah, no doubt.
I'll tell you, there's nothing like music. I mean, that's why we're here.
Coffee is a close second, but music's got it.
Oh, coffee. Oh, Hawaiian hazelnut. That's my new favorite. Oh.
I like hazelnut. I love it.
It's so good. Oh, look, there's Blaze. Uh-oh. You stay there, honey. Her dog's coming to visit up the other door.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, all right, so, hopefully all of this quarantine's going to be lifted. I know that the restaurants are allowing outdoor seating, So I'm sure it's just going to be a matter of time before the live music starts.
I hope so.
Probably have to wear our masks and stuff, you know.
The fans are clamoring for it. We're really, you know, I don't think that it's going to fade away. Everybody wants it.
No, everybody does. Everybody, my girlfriend, she even dancing together, even dancing to canned music. That's what we're doing, you know. People play it live, and we're through Skype, you know, dancing. It's just the best we get. Hey, you get down there. All right, so what else is going on? What else? I mean, how are you doing with quarantine? How are you amusing yourself?
Well, obviously it's impossible to go out and play anywhere, and it's impossible to bring musicians into your house, in large numbers. You can't have a jam like I used to host jams. So what I've been doing is just trying to personally just pursue things that I kind of put on the back burner. Like, for instance, I'm learning how to play drums, which is something I wanted to do for 20 years. And so I'm basically a beginner drummer right now.
Oh.
And one of the things I did over the last 2 months was I started a series called, maybe I could have sent you that video or those videos too, but I'll just tell you about it. I did this series called the Undercover Everly Brothers, which was just me, using a split screen video kind of thing, but harmonizing with myself and singing a bunch of classic songs in a style that I've always wanted to do but never had the time. So there's so many creative things that I wanted to do, and now I do have the time to pursue. So I'm going guns blazing, trying to get it all done.
Yeah, it's wonderful. The lockdown has been good in some ways, and it's been bad in other ways.
Yeah.
It's given people time to stop,
spend with their family,
and slow down.
Slow down. Yeah.
You know, it's just life has been so hectic, and it's slowing down now, and hopefully.
Hopefully we can have an adjustment to the way we do things.
I sure hope so. That's been quite a revelation, is how good having a moment of rest is for your creative process and your creative juices. If you count all of the shows I do, or was doing up until the quarantine, it can easily say 250 shows a year. That's a lot of being out every night, booking these shows, coordinating, driving, maintaining equipment, personnel issues, whatever it might be. You kind of get caught up in all of that, which is the business side of it, just the administration side of it, and you forget that you're an artist in the first place. And the last 2 months have been kind of a revelation, going, oh man, I had all this stuff in my head, and I've kind of forgotten about it. Let's just get back to that aspect of growth.
Yeah, get back to your roots and back to yourself, and your music will evolve, and the current affairs and things like that. I think it impacts.
Of course. For me, especially, it deeply impacts because music can't be just in a bubble for me, and I don't think it ever was. So I try to keep my music informed with what goes on around me. And as a blues guy, it's easy to fall into the trap of singing about barbecue and butt shaking and just keeping it all.
Turning back the hands of time.
Yeah, but that has a place, and obviously people want to have a good time. But for me personally, I want to have a message to my music, especially the songs that I write. So whatever's happening around us these days, I'm doing my best to put it to song, and not just to do that. I want to put my own personal take on what's happening and make sure that it counts. So that's a direction I'm definitely seeking.
You want to be relevant. You want to be relevant.
What's relevant?
Yes.
Okay, so in that vein, why don't you, before we sign off, talk about the last song a little bit?
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool. Yes, this last song is actually the last song I have released, which came out about a month ago. And this I'm especially proud of because from a technical perspective, it was I broke through one barrier, which is to be able to use a green screen to produce my videos. And,
it looks good.
But to produce that next video that you're about to show, I had basically a sheet of green paper wrapped around this cardboard box, and that was my green screen. So I managed to produce a whole video with me playing different parts, all using a phone and this cardboard green screen, which was a huge thing. And also from a musical perspective, I've stacked layers of harmony in a bluegrass style, which is the first time I've attempted to do that. And I just used a kick drum, harmonica, hand claps, and vocals to create a whole song. So musical, technical, visual fronts, I'm very proud of it. And from the lyrical point of view, I think it's a very direct message. It's called "The Rich Shall Inherit the Earth." And it came at a time when I was very disturbed by the fact that I feel we kind of tend to gravitate towards a very greed-based society at times, and that's not a very positive sentiment for me. And greed, I don't think, is the direction we should be choosing as a civilization.
Right.
So based on what's happening around us, the real gross disparity that's around us, all this long-held trauma, all of it kind of, the song almost wrote itself very quickly. And so I'm really grateful that you guys are playing it. I'm very proud of it, and I hope whoever is listening and watching enjoys it.
All right. Thank you, Aki Kumar. We have thoroughly enjoyed our interview with you.
Absolutely.
And you can keep us updated on your journey with Sony. That's going to be so exciting.
Please tune in and catch the new music video if you can tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. And everybody be sure to tune in on Sunday. And Cindy and I are just going to do whatever. We have no...
At 3 p.m.
At 3 p.m. we have no specified...
We're testing some new technology, so Sunday's a good day.
So check in. We might have some filters or do something fun. But anyway, thank you, Aki Kumar. I love you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
I'm Silver Shell saying good night.
Good night.
And stay safe. Bye. Enjoy the video.
Okay, here we go.
We don't care if you are sick, we don't care when you are dead. Get up, move out of our way, 'cause we've got to get ahead. The rich shall inherit the earth, that's what our scriptures say. You're measured by your money's worth, God bless the USA. We can't tell right from wrong, there's only the weak and the strong. So if your stock ain't the best, you're gonna die out with the rest. The rich shall inherit the earth, that's what our scriptures say. You're measured by your money's worth, God bless the USA. Now ignorance is our creed, we put all our faith in greed. You'll watch our fortunes grow, 'cause we'll reap all that you sow. The rich shall inherit the earth, that's what our scriptures say. You're measured by your money's worth, God bless the USA. So if you're still trying to survive, we just might keep you alive. You'll have to slave and toil, so we can keep all the spoils. The rich shall inherit the earth, that's what our scriptures say. You're measured by your money's worth, God bless the USA. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. Hey, shouldn't it be the meek shall inherit?